It started as a quiet evening in a suburban neighborhood, the kind where everyone thought they knew their neighbors. But one ordinary Tuesday would shatter that illusion forever. A single act of cruelty left a home in flames, lives turned upside down, and a family questioning everything they thought about justice. And the person responsible? She walked right into their courtroom the next week with a smug smile, expecting nothing but applause. What happened next would leave everyone stunned and force a community to confront the ugly truth hiding behind polite facades. The Johnson family had lived in their peaceful neighborhood for over a decade. Michael and Sarah Johnson, along with their 2 children, had worked tirelessly to build a home filled with love and security. They were active in the community, attending local events and fostering friendships with neighbors. Yet beneath the manicured lawns and smiling faces, tension simmered. The HOA was notorious for its strict enforcement of rules, but no one had expected personal prejudice to cross the line into outright malice. For years, subtle comments and microaggressions from a particular neighbor had been ignored, written off as personality quirks or misunderstandings. But then the night of the fire changed everything. A malfunction? An accident? The Johnsons would never know. Their house, a symbol of years of effort and memories, burned to the ground while the HOA Karen watched from the street, a smirk on her face. Friends rushed to help, fire trucks battled the flames, and the family stood in shock, helplessly watching their life go up in smoke. This was no ordinary setback. It was a deliberate act of hatred, a painful reminder that prejudice still lurked in places people trusted most. In the days following the fire, the Johnsons faced an uphill battle. Insurance companies questioned every detail. Neighbors whispered and avoided eye contact, and the HOA initially minimized the severity of the incident. The community that once seemed supportive suddenly felt cold and judgmental. Michael spent nights awake, poring over evidence, photographs, and witness statements. Each picture of charred walls, melted possessions, and scorched memories was a testament to the cruelty of someone who should have been a neighbor and friend. The family felt the weight of isolation as the person responsible walked freely among them, untouched by consequences. Tensions escalated when it was announced that the HOA Karen would appear in the upcoming court proceedings. She arrived with perfectly styled hair, an air of superiority, and a confidence that infuriated anyone watching. Michael and Sarah prepared tirelessly, fueled by determination to seek justice, not just for their family, but to expose the toxicity that had poisoned their neighborhood. The courtroom became a stage where emotions ran high. Every detail of the fire, every statement from witnesses painted a picture of deliberate malice. The community watched as evidence piled up, showing a pattern of prejudice and intimidation. The Johnsons realized that this was bigger than a house. It was a fight for dignity, respect, and recognition of the harm that prejudice can cause. The day of the verdict arrived. Tension filled the courtroom, a heavy weight pressing down on everyone present. Michael and Sarah sat with their children, their hands clasped tightly, hearts pounding as the judge read through the final arguments. The HOA Karen sat with an expression of confidence, as if justice itself would bend to her will. But the story took a dramatic turn. The evidence was overwhelming. The judge detailed the malicious actions, the deliberate nature of the fire, and the disregard for human life. The courtroom held its breath as the decision was announced. Full restitution for the Johnson family, punitive damages, and a formal acknowledgement of the malice that had caused unimaginable suffering. Gasps echoed through the room. The HOA Karen, once smug and untouchable, now sat stunned and silent. The family's courage had exposed the truth, turning fear and humiliation into a powerful statement of resilience. For the first time since that terrible night, the Johnsons felt a sense of justice, a restoration of dignity that no fire could ever take away. In the weeks following the trial, the community began to shift. Neighbors who had remained silent started speaking up against injustice, sharing stories of prejudice and bias they had witnessed but ignored. The Johnsons, despite their loss, became a symbol of courage, showing that standing up to hatred is never futile. The rebuilt home was more than bricks and mortar. It was a monument to resilience, determination, and the unyielding pursuit of justice. Michael and Sarah used their experience to educate others, hosting community meetings and workshops about recognizing prejudice, advocating for fairness, and protecting vulnerable neighbors. This story serves as a reminder that racism and discrimination are not always blatant. Sometimes they hide behind smiles, rules, and polite facades. Yet, courage, persistence, and the refusal to accept injustice can turn even the darkest events into a catalyst for change. The question remains, in the face of cruelty and prejudice, what would you do? Will you stand by, or will you rise and demand justice? Share your thoughts, like this video, and subscribe for more stories of resilience, courage, and truth.